Aiden, a young boy with an insatiable thirst for adventure, was chosen by a mysterious entity to travel through the world's oldest myths. With a simple tunic and an ancient sword, he began his journey in Greece, where he faced the fearsome Hydra. Every time he cut off one of its heads, two more appeared. But Aiden, with cunning and determination, learned that fire was the key to stopping its regeneration. After defeating the Hydra, he was magically transported to Egypt, where the pyramids greeted him with their imposing presence. There, he came face to face with the Sphinx, who challenged him with 3 riddles. The first asked him to think about the past, the second about the present, and the third about the future. Aiden, using his wits, solved each one and won the favor of the god Horus. His next destination was the cold and distant land of the Norse. In Asgard, he joined the gods in preparing for a battle against the ice giants. Fighting alongside Thor and his warriors, Aiden discovered that teamwork was more powerful than any weapon. With cunning, they misled the enemy and defeated them in an epic battle. The journey then took him to the Far East, where the skies were ruled by majestic dragons. Aiden faced one of these beings, not with strength, but with respect. By bowing before the great dragon, he demonstrated his humility and was rewarded with an amulet of eternal wisdom. He learned that true strength lies in respect and peace. Back on his path, Aiden arrived in the jungle of South America, where he was greeted by the feathered serpent, Quetzalcoatl. Here, there was no physical battle, but a challenge of spirit. The serpent showed him visions of his own future, teaching him that destiny is not written, and that every decision changes the course of life. His journey then took him into Celtic mythology, where he met the hero Cuchulainn. In these lands, Aiden took part in a mythical hunt, where magical creatures lurked around every corner. Cuchulainn taught him that courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to face it and move forward. Aiden was then transported to India, where he met the elephant god Ganesha. Ganesha, the remover of obstacles, gave him several tests to prove his patience. Aiden learned that sometimes the greatest challenges don't require strength, but patience and perseverance to overcome them. Continuing his journey, Aiden arrived in Japan, where he witnessed a battle between samurai and Oni demons. Here, under the guidance of an elderly warrior, he learned the importance of honor and discipline. Although the battle was tough, Aiden understood that sometimes, the greatest victory is the one achieved without lifting the sword. At his next destination, he found himself in African mythology, where the god Anansi, the spider god, invited him to solve a series of intricate puzzles. Aiden, using his wits, overcame each challenge, learning that knowledge is the most powerful tool one can possess. He then traveled to the Australian desert, where he encountered the ancestral spirits of the Dreamtime. Here, there was no fighting or riddles, but stories. Aiden listened intently to the legends of creation, learning that everything in nature is connected and that every being has a purpose in the balance of the world. The next leap took him to Hawaiian mythology, where Pele, the goddess of fire, challenged him to a race to the top of an erupting volcano. Aiden, with agility and courage, overcame the flames and was ultimately rewarded by Pele, who taught him that control over the fire within is what allows one to overcome the most intense difficulties. In the cold lands of Siberia, Aiden met the shamans of the north. Through rituals and dances, he learned to connect with the spirit of animals, understanding that every creature, from the smallest insect to the great bear, has a soul worthy of respect and protection. Eventually, his journey took him to the far-off lands of New Zealand, where Maori warriors taught him the art of the haka, the war dance. Through the rhythm and power of tradition, Aiden came to understand the importance of cultural identity and connection to ancestors. At the end of his journey, Aiden returned to where he started, but he was no longer the same inexperienced young man. Now, with the lessons learned from each myth and legend, he understood that knowledge, humility, and respect were the most powerful weapons he could have. He knew there were still many adventures ahead, but with what he had learned, he was ready for any challenge.